to get back into the law firm, or I'm taking my business somewhere else. Andy was going around calling all the partners, all the clients, all the former clients, all future clients, trying to get them on her side because she about to pull an okie doke. She about to pull one over on Robin. I would love to say in this instance that I remember every little thing about Sistas because I just watched these episodes on Monday, but I fucked around and deleted all my notes. So just fly with me. Penelope is still blaming Andy for what happened with, Gary and talking to Robin while they was down to lunch trying to talk about this case. Oh, she ruined my life. Her and Gary conspired to ruin me and my brother's life. They did this, they did that. Blase, blase, blase. Nobody actually gives a flying fuck. Because at this point in time, Penelope, Andy, since the moment she met y'all and found out about the whole Gary situation, has been trying to protect you and Jordan. And Andy told Jordan that. And Jordan, got beside himself for a hot second. Because eventually Andy and them met up at the restaurant that Robin and Penelope was at. And Penelope was feeling all over Robin and touching his face and blowing eyelashes, loose eyelashes and all that stuff, trying to make Andy jealous and trying to really down talk Andy to Robin. But Robin don't want no woe is me, pick me, BITCH, no, I need to be saved Cinderella story. He likes a woman who he can go back and forth with, who's a boss, who he could be like, you know what? I want to say this to you, or I like when you do this. So at this point in time, before we even got to the restaurant, because Miss Marie told Andy, you got a week to get back into the law firm, or I'm taking my business somewhere else. Andy was going around calling all the partners, all the clients, all the former clients, all future clients, trying to get them on her side because she about to pull an okie doke. She about to pull one over on Robin, which Robin is gonna love, and then Robin is gonna be down to her penthouse talking about, girl, what we trying to do? What we trying to do? So Penelope, you never stood a chance. And Andy shut that down with Jordan. They finally have a adult conversation. And Andy says, listen, I wanted to love you in the way that I love Robin, but I have a need to be with a man. Her preference is to be with someone who tries to control her. She likes to have friction with someone in her relationship. Now, I don't think she likes to have the friction she had with Gary, but she kind of likes that friction. It makes, it's fun for her. So, they wrapped this whole Jordan storyline up, which I'm glad because fuck Jordan and his sister. We tired. Sabrina, Maurice, and Paige seem to all be getting on a better page because Paige defended Maurice to this homophobic Caucasian lady who came to the bank to talk about, I need my pennies rolled because I'm going to the casino with my church group. And Maurice and Paige both told this lady, in order to do so, you have to be a member of the bank for us to count them. But if you want us to count them so you get your cash, you got to go roll them yourselves. And she started going on a homophobic rant. It was BS, pure DBS at this point. But Paige defends him. Paige apologizes, find out Paige's brother is, of the community. So that's a great thing. So now that, Paige, Maurice, and Sabrina are all having these, much needed conversations, and also letting Paige know that the macro aggressions, because they weren't micro, won't fly no more. Her and Sabrina actually have a real conversation, and they share different things. Sabrina about her fertility journey and the fact that she's really upset, and how her cousin was 35, had fibroid tumors, and had to have a hysterectomy, which basically set her on this journey of, ooh, the clock is ticking, I need to take care of this. And Paige can relate when it comes to her sister having endometriosis. So everything down to the bank is well and good. Rich stops by, but I'm sick of Rich. It's time to get rid of him because ultimately, Rich, you think, oh, just because I can't do this thing, as in fertilize her eggs right here and right now, that she not going to want me and she going to do X, Y, and Z, and that she's a cheater. It's time for him to go. Then we get down to Danny. Danny down at the job, and she already got an HR violation against her, or a case open up on her, and Tony is down at her desk, and she has to tell Tony what the logical thing is that you need to leave from around this desk because the people's going to have an issue with this. So Lenny or Lemmy or whatever the hell that man's name is, who was down to the job, who filed a complaint, on them being a couple and her getting into the leadership program that she didn't want to be in the first place, but Tony put her in there because he feels like he needs to control her. You know what? Tony probably would have been better in a relationship with Andy, if I'm being honest. Anyway, he come over there talking crazy to Danny. I worked hard to get where I was. I'm the first employee here. I'm the last to leave. I'm this, I'm that. That's your motherfucking problem right there. You the first one to be there and the last one to leave. Them people don't have no loyalty to you. They'll lay your motherfucking ass off right here, right now. And you be looking like, what happened? Child, please, have loyalty to yourself. Anyway, he talking crazy to Danny. I got this on merit. You got it laying on your back. I come in here. I'm the first to arrive, last one to leave. You come up in here smelling like weed. And she was like, it better than smelling like coffee. Because if you keep talking to me crazy, you're going to be laying flat on your back. And he was like, I don't smell like coffee. Boom. Tip that whole iced coffee on him. And he's screaming, security. She assaulted me. Screaming like a Karen. So when the people come over there, Tony and the HR lady, they talking. And, Danny ends up calling Fatima because she's like, oh my God, I can get fired. I can't lose this job. And Fatima and Zach are listening, and it's just like, we ain't never heard our girl be down before. So what is going to happen? And ultimately, Tony started this trajectory of issues for Danny. Like, Danny would have been fine with what she was doing had you not put her in the, leadership program. Oh boy, wouldn't have been fooling around with Danny had you not put her in the leadership program. This high key is Tony's fault, in my opinion. Danny should know how to control her anger better, so she also takes a fault in this as well. But this is his fault, because why would you do this? So Danny, after Zach comes down there, before Zach comes down there to talk to her, she finds out that, you're out of the leadership program. Cool. Zach comes down there, they talk. He was like, came to check on you, make sure you're good. She was like, I'm good, but if things go bad, I might have to move into the guest room. And he was like, you know what, I got you. But he ended up leaving because he was like, I'm not about to be back here pushing carts no more. And honestly, I love the Danny Zach friendship because they're true blue friends and they down for each other with whatever. Zach came back to a place he hated to make sure she was okay. But Danny has been suspended without pay, and it's just like, oh my God. So at this point, Danny has been suspended without pay. Sabrina, Maurice, and Paige have made up to the point where Maurice and Paige are about to take their coffee breaks together. Rich and Sabrina, I hope they break up because he absolutely doing too much. Penelope is doing too much, filling all up on Robin, and Robin don't see it for her because he looking at her crazy. Andy is about to pull a coup when it comes to the law firm. And she done told Jordan, yes, she's still in love with Robin. Yes, she wanted to love Jordan, but she's not in love with him. She cared for him. So we wrapped that storyline up. Hallelujah. Gary down there to the hospital promising to pay off student loans if people get him his phone and give him sloppy toppy, which, the young dumb nurse did, but she didn't even get a check. She didn't get a promissory note. She didn't even get, it recorded that he was going to pay her student loans. So not only are you about to lose your job for giving him his property back, which he wasn't supposed to have in the first place, you're also going to lose your job for giving fellatio to the patients. That's your fault, bitch. Your fault. And who else is in this? Oh, Pam down there to the salon. She got to get checked up on by Miss Lisa because Miss Lisa's like, you know what? I'm going to have to supervise her because she's always doing something. But she tries to help Sabrina earlier in the episode, but it don't really work out because Pam wasn't really listening. But speaking of Miss Lisa is going in on the friend group at Andy, Karen, all of them. Because why is Karen leaving the house? Why is she doing X, Y, and Z when oh, the phone is ringing. Why are you leaving when you know for a fact that you are pregnant and this is a high-risk pregnancy, all this stuff? And she going in, she was like, you're stubborn. So eventually, Miss Lisa was like, I made you dinner, lasagna, salad, garlic bread, all that's in there. I got you a babysitter. Who's the babysitter? The babysitter is Aaron. Who is he here to babysit? Karen. And what do they end up doing? They end up punching. Oh, yeah, she hopped on top. Okay, she enjoyed all of that. And then Fatima and Zach are like, we need to go give Agent Watt somebody else to talk to because we're not about to keep doing this. So who do they want to give to Agent Watt? Hayden and Tamara. But Fatima wants to play mind games with them because there is no honor amongst thieves and there's no honor amongst murderers or attempted murderers. So let's go try to turn them on each other. So Hayden and Tamara have been arguing the whole day because she feels like he's obsessed with Gary. He was like, as they were about to have sex, call me by Garen's name. And she was like, are you gay? He was like, no. So you're obsessed with him. And he's like, I'm not obsessed with him. I know I'm not ish, but there are certain lines you won't cross. So it's just like, I don't know what's going on with Hayden, but when Gary came calling, he was like, let me go hightail it up out of here because I need to stay on his good side. We both need to stay on his good side just in case he's remembered something or he doesn't remember anything. Because Hayden was at the venue and so was Tamara, but Tamara was there to blow up his spot. But, Hayden had to tell her Andi wouldn't have cared because of how Andi and Gary started. So the question is, did Hayden stab Gary? I'm thinking so. Because when he got to that hospital room, he looked like he wanted to be everywhere but there, but told Gary, I'll help you because you're my brother, and it's going to be me and you to the end. I got a feeling like it's going to be a unalive and side happening with them two. It's just my thought. And then Fatima pops up on Tamara and tells her, you know what? I have proof. I have proof that, one of y'all did something. And it's just like, this is messy as hell. But that's really all I could remember because I had like long, lengthy notes and it would have been longer than this. But I ended up deleting my notes and I couldn't recover them. But I'm glad they wrapped up the Jordan Andy storyline because it was never going to go anywhere, especially with the fact that as soon as they switched the actors, the chemistry between Andy and Jordan were no more. So that's a thing. And then we brought back Robin, and we all know that her and Robin are like magnets. They have to find each other. They just, once they're in each other's orbit, they got to connect. Nobody else matters. And Penelope, I'm sick of her constantly blaming Andi for how wrong her life went. Like, listen, you were the side chick in the Andi Gary's story. Andi broke up with him and he turned around and proposed to you with her ring. And it hadn't been that long and you were big belly pregnant. When Andi set you down not once, not twice, but 3 times to tell you how this man was and told you to take off because he was very dangerous and very much capable of committing an unaliving, what did you do? You still went over there to see him and ultimately he unalived y'all baby. He also has a life insurance policy out on you, which you don't know about. So that could be crazy. He took them pictures with the men, the women, the sex workers all up in your brother's house doing wild butt naked crazy things, and yet Andi is the problem. Andi was trying to protect your brother, which she really didn't need to do because she told him not to take money from him. And what did he do? He took money from him and then opened up the floodgates to this man trying to destroy his life. Because why? Gary can't stand for anyone to be with Andi. He tried to pull a hostile takeover on Robin to get him away from Andi. That's how crazy this man is. When it comes to Danny and Tony, I want them to break up only because Tony really wants to either therapize her or control her, and it's not going to work. She told you she didn't want to be in the leadership program, but that's where you decided to put her. And now look where that's gotten y'all. She's suspended without pay. How's she going to pay her bills? Where's she going to live? She going to move in with Fatima, Michael, and Zach? Is that what's going to happen? Karen and Aaron, good for you, because I'm glad she moved on. I'm glad she's going with Aaron. Aaron stopped questioning things. Everything down to the bank, everything down to the salon is messy. I'm glad we got more locations. And Andi, I can't wait for this coup she's about to pull off. It's going to be amazing.